I never clean my gel plate from a previous printmaking session. Anything left on the plate is like gold to me. There's character, history, interesting marks, and it all makes the next print even that more unique. So in a previous video, I did a print pull and these crackly white lines remained. I'm going to do a new print today and go right over the top of this. I'm going to carry on and make a print as if none of this is there. And we'll see what shows up in the end. So let's go to the overhead camera and make a new print. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw an image on paper, which will then get transferred to the plate. If you ever want to draw in a primitive way, try drawing something without lifting up from the paper. You're guaranteed to get some primitive results, which is what I'm doing right now, because I like primitive and all that stuff. Okay, I lifted up, but I'm going to give him another leg anyway. Boom. That's primitive. But I also reserve the right to make some adjustments. That's good enough for now. Let's give him some color so it's more fun. I am using Sennelier Extra Soft pastels. These are not oil pastels. They make a beautiful transfer onto gel printing plates, and it's also, the bonus is your resulting finished artwork will be smear proof. If you've used pastels before, you know what happens. They have to be framed behind glass. It wants to flake off, and if you touch it, it comes off. With this method of transferring onto the gel plate, it is just fantastic because you have a paper print that doesn't smear. You can varnish it and it won't smear. I mostly use my prints in collage onto paintings. So in my end result, I varnish with water base. It's actually not technically varnish, but it's a final coat, as they say. Water-based Minwax. And it doesn't smear. It's great. So you can make this great paper drawing and make a transfer, and you don't have to worry about what am I going to do with this paper print. Let me see. Oh, what does this horn need? Let's just do some fun color here. Okay. Trying to vary some colors here. Why not? Let's go do one of these in here. Little decorative edges. Different colored flowers, but the continuity would be the same color. Leaves. Let me see what I want to do for this one. Let's do a red one. Boy, I get so I don't worry about being exact. It's actually quite liberating. Okay, there's that. I like putting blankets on my animals. I do it a lot. It's one of my signature things that I enjoy. Okay, gotta keep going here. So here's a quick drawing I did using the beautiful Sennelier dry pastels. And I have affiliate links in the description to all the key supplies that I'm using today. They work really great with this method of transferring pictures onto gel printing plates. Being an affiliate, of course, means I get a small commission if you click my link and buy. And I'm pretty sure you're going to want to have some of these pastels and a gel plate if you don't already after you see this. Okay, let's do the transfer. Here's the plate. The funny part is you see white on this side. Again, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is left over from a previous print where I had rolled on some pastels. But if you look at the other side, which is what's going to show in the print, the pastels that I had rolled down are showing. Now it's thin, so I don't know how much is really going to show. But what I'm doing is I'm going ahead with this new print as if this isn't there, and we'll just see what happens. That's what I like to do, is to see what happens. So here's my drawing. This is on printmaking paper. Now, if you notice, the paper is smaller than the plate, but that's okay. Doesn't really matter. The final print that I do will be the entire size of the plate. This is no big deal here. No major pressure, just lay it down. These pastels are so soft that it really transfers nicely. There it is. There is my drawing too, which would be good for another plate pull if I want to do it later. If I want to use this again, I can use it again. It'd probably be a slightly lighter, but it'll still be okay. There's plenty of pastel left on that. Okay, I have mixed up some white acrylic paint and toned it down with a little bit of, this is one of my favorite things to tone down white with, transparent red iron oxide by Golden. That way it's not stark white, it kind of makes it into a warm white. And I'm going to roll this on my plate. So this layer of this off-white does not have to be perfect because I'm going to end up doing another roll of color after this, after it's dry. So what I'm going to do now is I have some cheesecloth and it's got a wonderful texture to it. I like it because it's irregular. It's not that perfect fabric look, so I'm going to go down here in some places and push it into the wet paint. And pull it up, and it leaves some, it removes some of the paint, leaves some really nice organic shapes. There's that. You can do as much or as little as you like. I'll even just wad it up. Have it wadded up here and see what it does if I just do that. Yeah, that's not bad. Just a wad as opposed to trying to get that single layer down. Might even go in the middle here where the image is. Why not? Okay, I'm going to let this dry and then we'll put on some more color. Okay, this is dry or almost dry. I'd say it's pretty dry. I mixed up some dark brown with some black in it because I want a contrast where this cheesecloth will show through, where I removed the paint from the off-white color. Making sure my coverage is really good this time because it's going to make the print pull easier. Okay. Now I have a large sheet of rice paper that covers the whole thing. It's actually larger than the plate. I like to... This stuff comes folded in the middle. It's not a hard fold, but it does actually give you a starting point. I usually press down in the middle first and then go down. And then the other side. Get any air out. Hopefully there, if you lay it down right, it goes down pretty good, but once in a while you'll get something where it doesn't lay down so nice and there's some air to push out. You want to make sure there's contact with the whole thing from the paper onto the plate. No real pressure is necessary, but there's also no downside to spending a couple minutes getting that pushed in. Now I have to wait for it to completely dry. Okay, it's completely dry. Let's start the great reveal. I was starting the corner. Keep my paper low to the near the surface. Seems to pull better that way. This rice paper does really great. It's very strong. It's kind of on the thin side, but it's very strong. I really like it. Tiny bit of loss there, but no big deal. It actually looks kind of cool. Okay, there is the print. So these diagonal lines were pastel that I laid down. That was the previous video, and there's a link in the description if you want to see that video. What we were dealing with here today was, of course, the leftover marks without cleaning the plate off. And I, of course, added the buffalo. I wanted to make sure the buffalo was dark because I knew there would be some interference from the stuff left on the plate. So you could use a black or near black. I think I used a really dark blue here instead of black. Doesn't matter. But I wanted to make sure the main image showed up. And there's the flowers in the corner. And of course the rest of the, you couldn't tell that my transfer was smaller than the large piece. But it has a nice rustic look. It's kind of interesting. And here's what I really love is, if you can see right here, the cheesecloth shows up as a little dark marks. And that's again why I used a really dark paint on the back to make sure that it showed through. I love the cheesecloth. And the beauty of this technique is now the pastel doesn't smear. Once you do a transfer like this, the color really doesn't come off. So I can use this in collage. If I want to preserve the whole piece, I can mount this on a canvas. And I always put a final coat of Minwax polyacrylic on all of my paintings, and it would work on this too. If you try using this just by on straight pastel without doing this transfer, it's going to smear. But it doesn't when you do a transfer and then you use Minwax polyacrylic. So I have links in the description to all of the supplies that I used in this video. I hope you'll check out the gel plate. It's kind of addicting once you start making prints. I love printmaking. You'll really like using a gel plate. This one here is, I forget, 12 by 14, something like that. I have different sizes. I ended up owning several. I actually bought a 16 by 20 gel printing plate the other day that I haven't used yet. I cannot wait to use that. But anyway, please let me know in the comments what you think about this. Have you tried this yet? Check out my other videos. I've got a growing library of gel printing plate videos because people are interested and I enjoy doing it. So like, subscribe, click on my affiliate links for the supplies, and we'll see you next time.